Hey everybody. I know that y'all are probably expecting some constructed content today, but that's just not gonna happen. So I went camping this weekend and it was only for a single night. I just drove out, did some day stuff, decided to go camping, and we had the worst, most awful night ever. I bought a new cot. I slept on it. It had crossbars in the wrong places. I didn't have like anything to cushion myself against the cot because my other cot that I had prior to that was a lot more padded and a lot more insulating, and the temperature dropped super, super low. And I went to bed at like 10, and we ended up getting up at like 7. And for me, it was just this nightmare cycle of 15 minutes of sleep, 45 minutes of being awake, too cold. Porter was with me. Porter was trying to sleep with me on a one-man cot, and he's just, of course, he's a great big chocolate lab retriever, so he doesn't fit, and like he's getting rammed into the bar, I'm getting rammed into the bar. Neither of us are warm enough, and I basically didn't sleep. And so I was like, all right, well, I got to record constructed today, and so I came back home and I took a nap, and then I woke up and I was just like, it's not happening. Like I could do it, but it would be bad. And I've got a couple of interesting constructed decks that I want to play, one of which was requested by a patron, and I've got the cards for it, and I'm interested to play it, but it's just wouldn't be good content. So what you're going to see is a video of another Modern Horizons 2 draft that I did prior to all of this, with this tacked on to the front of it. So enjoy, because General Ferris Rokiric is an amazing card in Limited, and we started running into this card in Constructed after this. So, yeah, it's good. Anyway, I'm going to go get some sleep. Y'all enjoy this video that was pre-recorded prior to the camping fiasco. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another Modern Horizons draft. I'm going to warm up for recording today by doing one of these. And our first pick is General Ferris Rokiric. So he's definitely very good in the Artifacty deck. Just playing any multicolored spell gives you a 4/4 red and white golem artifact creature token, which is pretty good. Considering that gold cards are relatively easy to come by in most colors. He's very good in the modular deck because, well, he gives you stuff to modular onto, and he's an aggressive cost. He's a 3-mana 3/1. Also has hexproof from monocolored, so he actually dodges quite a bit of removal, which is sick. We're definitely taking him. Alright, pack 2. So pack 2 here. I kind of like Knighted Mirror the most out of these cards. Now I could take Rakdos Headliner, and we could try and splash and be an aggressive deck that way. I don't think that's what I want to be doing. Let me think. I could also take Junk Winder, because blue would be the color we're next most likely to play. It does help synergize with the tokens, but we have to be much more interested in our splash colors. The other option is Knighted Mirror Sojourner's Companion. I'll speculate on the Junk Winder, and we'll see what we can accomplish today. So let's see. Fast and Furious, Captured by Legox. I mean, Captured by Legox does fit Rokiric's theme, so does Breathless Knight. And Breathless Knight does do the 1/1 counter stuff, but only from the grave. I think I take Captured by Legox, because green is actually a really good color because it's all of the 1/1 counter shenanigans. Yeah, we'll take Captured by Legox. We're probably going to stay a little bit more open than usual for the first few picks here, until we kind of see what other people are taking. Now, Slagwood's Bridge is definitely an on-color fixing for us, because it could splash. It helps us splash for Rokiric if we happen to be majority green-white, or splash for Captured by Legox if we happen to be majority red-white. However, Goblin Bombardment is an insane sack outlet for modular creatures. The deck definitely gets way better if we take that, so we're going to take that. We're probably not playing Junk Winder. It is quite difficult to get to that, but if we happen to get like a ton of treasures, or, well, I mean, I guess not treasures, but maybe treasures, but like if we happen to get like a ton of the artifact lands that just help us splash and we make a ton of tokens, then that can absolutely be a thing that happens. All right. I think Mere Scrappling might actually be better than Sojourner's Companion because of the 1/1 counter synergies. Sojourner's Companion is good if we have a ton of artifacts, but we're not there yet. I think I'm going to take the Scrappling. Foundry Helix is fantastic. It's a great trigger for Rokiric. Synergizes with the artifacts. It's on color. Yeah, we'll take Foundry Helix. It doesn't look like our lane is very open, or if it is, there's not been a lot of these cards opened in these packs, so people might be taking our cards and probably will rotate out shortly if they are, unless they're really going to try and force the modular deck. We've gotten enough payoffs towards a real deck that I'm still comfortable trying to draft this. All right, Fractured Sanity is hilarious. Card might actually be insane and limited. I'm not 100%. I know I took it early, but I also didn't know what I was doing when I actually saw this card. And if you got multiples, I think you absolutely could make a deck. Unbounded potential would be good, but I think Power Depot is better for us. It's going to help us splash. The problem is it doesn't help us cast any of these cards. It just helps us cast artifacts. So it's effectively a colorless land for everything else. It doesn't even help us cast Junkwinder, which I'm going to take out of the deck for now. Okay, so there is a Lightning Spear or an Ethereum Spinner. Ethereum Spinner, we can cast off Power Depot, if that matters. I think I would rather have a Lightning Spear, just because of the aggressive nature of Lightning Spear. The fact we can use it as removal or direct damage matters a lot, too. Okay, so Arcbound Slasher and Power Depot came all the way around. I do like taking another Power Depot here, but I think I've got to go with the creature. We don't have a lot of stuff that Power Depot is going to help us cast yet, and I feel like if we did, it would be a lot easier to justify that pick. But Slasher is pretty great top end, just being like a haste creature. This is similar to a Lava Axe in a lot of ways, even if your opponent can block it. So if we're splashing green, that means Daggertooth or Dusk Shellcrawler could potentially be very good. Gargadon is also good because it just happens to be a good red creature that we could play in a deck like this. Dusk Shellcrawler giving all of our guys trample could matter a lot if they have 1/1 counters on them. Daggertooth with the proliferate. I think I'm willing to risk a slightly worse mana base to take a Daggertooth there because the card is just so much better than the other option. Flourishing Strike's great, but I will take a Dusk Shellcrawler. Fairgrounds Patrol is just a random aggressive guy in our colors. Marble Gargoyle fits our theme. I'm not playing a Foul Watcher. I'll put a Galvanic Relay in the sideboard. Chance Encounter I'm not playing. Alright. So pack 2. So Search the Premises makes a bunch of tokens because we're going to be getting attacked a lot. Fast and Furious can be a board wipe. Bottle Golems is a creature that's an artifact. Lens Flare is technically removal. I think we take Smell Fear. The Proliferate is going to be huge because we're going to be 1/1 counter focused. There are no gold cards in this pack that we can cast, so we'll take Smell Fear. Thought Monitor. Okay, Thought Monitor is something that is worth splashing, especially if you are playing enough of the artifact creatures. I have some questions to answer, though. So, there are no gold cards in this pack. Ornithopter of Paradise could fix for us. Batterbone is excellent equipment. Does not deal... Nothing in this pack that we want deals with 1/1 counters, I don't think. Mind Collapse could be good removal. Thorn Glint Bridge obviously would be quite good for fixing. I'm going to take Thought Monitor. The potential payoff here is very large. There's another Captured by Legox, which I really, really like. I think this card is very good. Abiding Grace could reanimate a Mere Scrappling endlessly. Otherwise, there's a Razortide Bridge, which we might need to be able to cast Thought Monitor. I'm going to take the Captured by Legox. I think it's more likely that we play this card than Thought Monitor. So Patchwork Gnomes is an artifact creature. Landscaper Kolos is fixing. Out of Time is a board wipe, but not one that we would probably want to play. I think we take Tanglepool Bridge here. It's a green land. It helps us cast Thought Monitor. It's affinity for Thought Monitor, so I'm going to take it. Okay, another Foundry Helix is really good. Otherwise, there's a Razortide Bridge, which is also very good for us. But I'm going to take the Foundry Helix for the gold theme for Rokiric. This is also great reach to help end the game. We're getting a little heavy in the 3-drop slot, but I'm pretty happy with our removal because of it. If we can get a couple of the 1-mana and 2-mana modular creatures, so if we can get Arcbound Javelineer, if we can get Arcbound Mouser, and then we can get a couple of like prototypes, this deck will go from like good to great. Okay, Chrome Courier, definitely on theme. Definitely helps us get through our deck faster. Is multicolor for Rokiric. Is an artifact. Synergizes with artifacts. So I think we got to take that. Mana is going to be a little bit difficult. We're looking like maybe we can't even play Daggertooth right now. We definitely have to start prioritizing fixing a lot higher. Slag Strider is a sack outlet. We already have one with Goblin Bombardment, though. I don't know that we'd be playing Angelic Curator. Kolos is technically fixing, but we're in a deck that we want to build the board state. I'm going to take Slag Strider. I'm not 100% on that one. Okay, I'm going to take Tracker because it's a 1/1 counter-focused creature. Deepwood Denizen is also quite reasonable for the same reason I just enumerated. It's a 1/1 counter-focused creature, but we need creatures that enter with 1/1 counters on them first. Okay, first pack came all the way around. Hard Evidence is going to be kind of hard to splash. I think we take a Lens Flare here. Jewel-Eyed Cobra is kind of like slow fixing, but we're getting really heavy in the 3-drop slot, so... Okay, Strike It Rich is actually fixing. Crap. I think I have to take Deepwood Denizen. Marble Gargoyle might be better in our deck because it's a flyer, but it doesn't deal with 1/1 counters, and Deepwood Denizen does. Flourishing Strike, Vectis Gloves, Soul Snare. I'll take Vectis Gloves. Another Deepwood Denizen. Guardian Kieran at least does 1/1 counter stuff. Piercing Rays is removal, and Liquimetal Torque into the sideboard. So now if we can just get a couple of aggressive early game artifact creatures, particularly the Arcbound ones, maybe a little bit of fixing, we'll have a deck. And we'll basically be like Naya-colored Splash Blue. Oh my god, it happened. Zabaz is amazing. Definitely taking Zabaz. Pack 2, there's an Unbounded Potential. There is also a Rift Sower. Unholy Heat is excellent removal, and there's a Razortide Bridge. So what removal do we have? We have 2 Foundry Helixes, 2 Captured by Legox, a Lightning Spear, and Goblin Bombardment. Rift Sower can tap for any color, which helps us cast anything that we have. I think I still take the Bridge here, though. We really need to up our artifact count. We technically have enough creatures to build a deck already. Well, we technically have enough playables. Like, we can just cut, like, Urban Daggertooth or whatever we consider our worst card. The real problem right now is our lack of, like, early game creatures to snowball. So it does seem like somebody else was in our colors because we haven't seen, like, a single Arcbound creature come around. Okay. Arcbound Shikari. I'd really like to take Rustvale Bridge. Man, I'd really like to take Unholy Heat as well. But Shikari is definitely the pick. It's the primary 2 colors we want to be. It's multicolor for Rokiric. Makes other creatures bigger. I'm going to take Thornglint Bridge. It's another on-color fixing land for us. I would like a Captured by Legox, but honestly, if I don't get it at this point, it's fine. Just need fixing. I hope that Aethersworn Sphinx comes all the way around, because that, like, with enough artifacts, that card is actually crazy in this deck. Okay, there's no early game artifact creatures in this pack, so I'm going to take the Power Depot for fixing. That really helps with Chrome Courier, the Shikari, the Thought Monitor. So it also helps with the Zabaz. It's a very good card to have with Zabaz. Sanctifier Envec. I'm going to take Tracker. Sanctifier Envec, double white is going to be difficult for us, I think. There's a Void Mirror, another Foundry Helix, an off-color artifact land, or a Rift Sower. I think the correct pick is probably Rift Sower here. I'm going to take another Foundry Helix. Like, the ceiling for Foundry Helix is pretty high. Okay, there is an Arcbound Prototype, which we're very happy to get. It's one of the cards we're actually looking for. There's another Slasher or an Unbounded Potential. I think I take the Slasher. At this point, I'm happy with the Unbounded Potential. Vidalcan Infiltrator, we're not going to have that many lands that actually tap for blue. I think I would rather have Funnelweb Recluse as a creature for the sideboard. Marble Gargoyle is fine. I'll take Riptide Laboratory for the constructed purposes, maybe. Battle Plan is fixing. I'm probably not playing a counterspell, but I'm also probably not playing Battle Plan. Okay, so I did not get quite enough artifact lands for my liking. Let's take a look at what we're actually going to be playing here. Double green is going to be very difficult. I've already got a pretty good feeling that that's the case. Don't know how good Lens Flare is going to be. So we need to figure out what our primary... I think our primary and secondary colors are red. Like red and white. For like these reasons. Which means we need to minimize green. And we are playing 2 blue cards. This means I'm probably not playing Dusk Shellcrawler. And I'm probably not playing that many, if any, Deepwood Denizens. Smell Fear is good because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures, 9 creatures that deal with 1/1 counters. We have 2 Captured by Legox and potentially an Unbounded Potential to help increase our number of 1/1 counter shenanigans. I don't think we're going to need Piercing Rays unless it becomes very apparent we need exile removal. Captured by Legox hopefully fills that slot for us because it acts sort of as an arrest. Puts 1/1 counters on our stuff, so it's got slightly more synergy with the deck than Piercing Rays does. Unbounded Potential is not as good. It is a single colored card, so it has no synergy with Rokiric. We don't have any of the Constable. It is a Proliferate, so potentially it like Anthems. We only have 1, 2, 3. I guess we have enough modular cards that keeping Goblin Bombardment in the deck is probably reasonable. That probably means we don't need Slag Strider. I've not had too much luck with Slag Strider, to be completely honest. So I'm going to take that out. I don't really want to cut any more creatures than we have. Vectis Gloves is very good against anyone who plays any amount of artifact lands at all. But it can be kind of bad if your opponent's not running them, which I guess we'll find out. We can side it in if we want it. And then if I need to cut one card, it's probably Lens Flare, because we have so much other good removal. Okay, so we're going to add our Power Depots, add our artifact lands, then we add basics. Let's see what it suggests. Okay, so in the current setup, we have 1, 2, 3 green lands that can cast Smell Fear and 2 Captured by Legox. I think I want 1 more forest. Blue. Both of our blue cards are artifacts. We may not actually need an island because we do have 4 lands that can tap for blue. We have no basic land cycling, so there's no real reason to have this island. I think I want a forest over that island. Let's see. Then we have 1. I might want 1 more mountain because we do have extra plains, and we have more artifact creatures that are white than we do have. We have more white artifacts in general than we have red. Like we have a bunch of non-artifact red cards, so I think I want 1 more red source because I'm playing like Razortide Bridge and Thornglint Bridge. So I think I want to drop 1 plains and add a mountain. Okay. Hopefully this works out. Our mana is a little bit sketchy, but the power ceiling for this deck is huge. So I will see you guys in round 1. All right, we're on the play, and we can't keep a 1-lander, so we're going to mulligan. This hand is potentially pretty bad. We're going to mulligan again. All right, let's hope to draw white mana. We'll put back Slasher and Prototype. Lead on a mountain, play Scrappling, pass the turn. If we draw white mana and we gain access to this Foundry Helix after playing Rokiric, that's going to be our best bet for winning. Opponent is playing green, suspending a Rift Sower. We untap and draw Tracker. Tracker is good, but we do need a mana to play it. Get in, hit our opponent for 1. Rift Sower ticking down. Opponent plays a mountain into a Goblin Anarchomancer. We draw not a land, pass the turn. Well, things are not starting good. Opponent gets a Rift Sower off of Suspend. They go to combat and play a forest. Well, they play a forest. Excuse me, I don't go to combat yet. Opponent plays an Imperial Recruiter for cheap, because Anarchomancer. They get another Anarchomancer. So they're definitely playing the Storm deck. And they'll be able to play a Prophetic Titan next turn, if they have a land. Okay. Let's not show our opponent any more of our deck, because it's going to be very difficult for us to beat that. So our mana is actually a lot worse than it looks, which sucks. There's not a lot I can do to make it better. I'm going to run it back. We'll play first. I'm going to keep this just because mana. I mean, we also have a curve, so play plains, pass the turn. Opponent plays a forest. Suspends Gaia's Will. We draw a Lightning Spear, play a mountain. Play Fairgrounds Patrol, pass the turn. Gaia's Will ticking down. Opponent plays a mountain into an Anarchomancer. We untap. We draw Arcbound Shikari. Play a forest. Now I can either play and equip Lightning Spear, or I can play the Shikari for no Anthem value. I kind of want to play the Shikari, so I'm just going to attack. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because if my opponent plays anything big, then we can support off of Captured by Legox. And then we'll have a bigger first striker. Gaia's Will ticks down to 2. Opponent plays a mountain. They go to combat and pass. We untap. We draw Guardian Kieran. So what could my opponent have with that play? I think they're holding Mind Collapse. They either have a really bad hand or they're holding Mind Collapse. So our best play around that is a pre-combat main phase Guardian Kieran. Okay. I feel like if they had Mind Collapse, they would have killed the Shikari pre-combat. Now, I suspect they might have a pump spell. Okay, they don't have a pump spell. They just have a bad hand. It's good to know. Okay, guys, Will ticks down to 1. Opponent plays a land. They Unholy Heat the Shikari. They must have top-decked that, because otherwise they would have done that in combat last turn. Okay, now they have Chatterstorm. 2 card types in the grave. Gaia's Will coming off suspend, so they're going to get some good value next turn. We draw Plains. Play a Plains. Play Slasher. Give it haste. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent no blocks. They take 7. Okay, Gaia's Will comes off suspend. Gives them a storm count. So they potentially can get a very big Chatterstorm turn. So they cast Gaia's Will, and now they play a land. Storm count is 1. They have 3 cards in hand. Anything they cast out of hand that would go to the grave gets exiled. They flashback on Holy Heat to kill Fairgrounds Patrol, putting a counter on Guardian Kieran. Their best play might be to cast Chatterstorm then. Man, it feels bad that we missed 2 Unholy Heats, because we had to take creatures, because I built this deck so weird. Because Unholy Heat really is the premium removal spell of this format. Because Shock is generally pretty good and limited. There's a lot of creatures with pretty low toughness, despite the fact that this is a Masters set, and the fact that it can scale and kill some of the best creatures in the format for a relatively low cost of Delirium is good. There's a reason this card is top removal in Modern right now. They're casting Galvanic Relay, and they get a Revolutionist, Road to Ruin, and Orchard Strider that they can't play this turn. Then they flashback Chatterstorm, making 4 1/1s. And they're going to attack us for 4, okay? So we untap, we draw Plains, play a Plains, play Lightning Spear. This might actually kill my opponent. Equip, so 5/4 with Trample, that's 1 damage right now. Yeah, actually, I think if I arrest a Squirrel token, I think this kills my opponent. Because they can block 3, then they take 3 and 8 and they die. Nice! Alright, so if we have a curve and we have our Colors of Mana, the deck can work. Opponent's deck kind of stumbled there. All right, run it back. I think our biggest problem is we don't have enough early creatures, so maybe I should be playing that Dusk Shell Crawler. It might be better than Marble Gargoyle. Okay, we got a Scrappling, we have a Prototype we got to keep. Mountain should be one of our easier colors to draw, so especially because we can draw Power Depot to tap for red for these creatures. Okay, we draw Foundry Helix. Lead on Scrappling. Even if we don't draw a Mountain, we can still play Marble Gargoyle. Opponent plays a Mountain. They pass. We draw Mountain. Play a Mountain. Play Prototype. Go to combat. Attack for 1. This lets me, kind of play around Unholy Heat a little bit, because if they kill something, we get value from it. Okay, opponent basic land cycles an Orchard Strider. That's probably good news for us, completely honest. The fact that we drew that Mountain makes our hand so much better, because we'll have a curve all the way up. We'll have removal. We have a sack outlet for Arcbound stuff if we want it. Opponent plays a Mountain. Plays a Jewel-Eyed Cobra. We untap. We draw General Ferris Rokiric. Play him. We don't have to attack this turn. We can pass. If my opponent has a Smell Fear... Well, no, they have to have multicolored removal. What multicolored removal could they have? I actually don't know. I don't know if there's any red-green burn spells in this format. Alright, we untap. We draw another Foundry Helix. Alright. So let's Foundry Helix. We'll modular onto the Scrappling. Make a Golem. Make that a 3/3. Kill the Jewel-Eyed Cobra. Go up to 24. Go to combat. Attack for 6. Alright. Make our opponent to 13. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest. They could have an Orchard Strider or something big. Green does have a couple of 5/6 mana plays. But if my opponent's just stumbling, the fact that we had a hand that ended up this aggressive is amazing. But this kind of explains what I was talking about with this deck. Our power ceiling is huge, provided, of course, we just don't die to 3 damage to each creature without flying. So we're going to lose Rokiric. We're going to lose the Mere Scrappling, but we can make this golem a 5/5. He might have hexproof from monocolored, but he can still die to monocolored damage. Okay, we draw a Thorn Glint Bridge, which is actually quite good. Go ahead and play Tracker. Hit our opponent for 5. If we draw an untapped land, we can have a Slasher with haste. We can cast Foundry Helix if we need to. Hit our opponent down to 8. They untap, play an island. We actually will not be able to trigger the Tracker this turn, because I don't think we have any other 1-mana plays. Okay, opponent plays Prophetic Titan. So they can kill the Tracker, or they can just look through the top cards of their deck. Okay, they're going to dig through the top cards of their deck. They're trying to find an answer. This means that Foundry Helix answers Prophetic Titan, then our opponent goes to 1. We draw Fairgrounds Patrol. Foundry Helix, kill the Titan, sack the Thorn Glint Bridge. We go up to 28. We're following up with Flyers. Our opponent's going to 1. It looks pretty bleak for our opponent. I think they could still get out of this if they have ways to gain life. If they had like Unholy Heat, Recalibrate, and then something to gain life or something to put on the board, they could actually recover, potentially. So they strike it rich to make a treasure. So they're probably casting a Chatterstorm to make blockers. If we draw a Foundry Helix, they die. Unless they have a counterspell. Which isn't likely because it seems like blue is their splash color. Revolutionist. They're going to pick up Strike it Rich, and then they're going to Chatterstorm. Yeah, so they'll Strike it Rich to get 1 more storm count, and then they'll Chatterstorm. Or they got nothing. That might mean they're dead. Okay, we draw a Tracker. So go to combat. Okay, so they've got an Unholy Heat then. Okay. So modular there. Make it a 7/7. Play Marble Gargoyle. So they're holding Strike it Rich, 1 unknown. Alright, we got there for round 1. We definitely got lucky with our natural Tron draws of basic lands, but I mean, if we can keep doing that, we can definitely 3-0 this league. But we'll see what happens. I'll see you guys in round 2. Alrighty. Round 2, we're on the draw. We have almost every color of mana we need, and I think we got to keep this hand. It's not amazing. So we still either need to draw green mana or early plays, but that is not a good start from our opponent. It's not something we want to see. But we did draw green mana, which is important. It helps us cast this Thought Monitor 2. Opponent plays a Mono Skellion. They're going to hit us for 1 and gain 1. We untap and draw Arcbound Prototype. Alright, we're going to play the Prototype this turn. Pass the turn. Hopefully our opponent does not have removal. So they go to combat. They attack us for 3. We're not going to block. We're not going to block because we have Smell Fear. So we untap. We draw Arcbound Tracker. Play Mountain. Play the Tracker. Go to combat. This makes the like block and ping with Monoskellion play super bad because it gives us a 4/4. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent has a lot of plays, but is still kind of mana screwed. Okay, they attack us for 3. That's fine. Untap. We draw another Tracker. So Smell Fear is super tempting. Thought Monitor currently costs 4. I could make it cost 3. But I could also just wait until next turn. I could capture by Legox on the Mouser, make both my guys 3/3s. Then unless my opponent puts a counter on Scrappling and pings, they can't kill our guys. It stops them from gaining life. I think I'm going to do that. Because even if they do have... okay, so they have to have Blacksmith skill here. No, they're going to ping the Mouser so that we don't get the 1/1 counters. Alright, good play. So we're going to play Razortide Bridge. We're still going to attack. And the reason that we're still going to attack is because my opponent would have to double block to kill Arcbound Tracker, and that would lose all of their board, like basically their whole board, because they wouldn't get any 1/1 counters off the Scrapplings. They're going to Animate Factory, hit us for 6. We go to 7, untap. We draw Marble Gargoyle. So this costs 3. But right now, we can fight the Monoskellion. My opponent would have to sack both of their guys. That actually is not very good. Let's go ahead and Thought Monitor like this. See what we draw. Chrome Courier, Guardian Kieran. Okay, go to combat. I was really hoping we draw a land so we could cast Smell Fear. Hit our opponent with Arcbound Tracker. Opponent untaps. They play a prototype. Then pass. We untap. Draw Arcbound Shikari, which is pretty good. We still need to draw a land, though. So let's Chrome Courier and see if we can't find an untapped land. Okay, take the... Foundry Helix is good, but I think Scrappling is better. It also gains us life immediately, which is good. So we'll play the Scrappling to trigger Tracker. If we can just find this next untapped land, we can play Arcbound Shikari, then Smell Fear, and the game's over. Like, our opponent will not be able to come back from that. They have no flyers currently, so I think what we do is just attack with Thought Monitor here, because I think that makes all of their attacks really bad. That the Scrappling does, I mean, because like we can just chump anything they can make big. Okay, opponent finally finds a third land. It is another Plains, so if they do have a splash color, we haven't seen it yet. They could be mono-white. It's not super likely, though. Opponent attacks for 2. We'll take 2. They can make it 4. Okay. The reason that we didn't move the Scrappling counter is because of Monoskellion. Okay, opponent plays Knighted Mirror, so they can make it. They can increase its size and give it double strike, but they don't have mana to ping with Monoskellion, which is going to be pretty big deal for them. We untap. We draw Plains. There it is. Play the Plains. Play the Shikari. Anthem our whole board. Then we can Smell Fear. We'll have the Tracker fight the Knighted Mirror. Counter on the Tracker for its ability. Then we proliferate our entire board. And then we go to combat. We attack here, here, and here. Opponent can triple block that Arcbound Tracker to kill it. And if they don't, they die. Actually, I should have just swung everything. Okay, so they are double blocking. Yeah, I should have just attacked with everything because I think my opponent dies. I didn't do the math, and I should have. But you know Kano, he doesn't do the math. Pass the turn. I don't think our opponent can kill us. The absolute worst possible scenario is my opponent like plays a land, overloads Dam. Like, but that requires them to have a currently double off-color spell. All right, well, that worked out for us. I don't know that it will work out for us in the future. I think I am going to bring in Piercing Rays. I think the Exile is going to matter a lot versus the modular deck anyway, especially an opponent who has that many early game artifact creatures. I think we need the removal, and I think it's better than Unbounded Potential at least. Vectis Gloves could be good here. Not 100% on that, though. We're going to run it back like this. Well, we have a Captured by Lagok's splash color. We can't really cast anything in our hand, though. We should draw white mana. I'm going to keep this. Kind of a tough decision here. Opponent leads on Mere Scrappling. We draw Chrome Courier. Chrome Courier helps a lot. Play Tanglepool Bridge. Opponent plays a Barbed Spike, and they're going to hit us for 1. Would like to draw an untapped third land. There's a Mountain. Mountain is actually really, really good. Play Power Depot. Pass the turn. So Mountain lets us play Chrome Courier. A Monoskellion. Opponent attacks us for 3. We take 3. We draw another Captured by Lagok's. So we're going to play Chrome Courier. We're looking for white mana. Okay, we'll take Thought Monitor. It gains us life. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They attack for 2. No blocks. Take 2. Then they play a Knighted Mirror. We untap. Draw Lightning Spear. Play Power Depot. Play Thought Monitor. We get a Goblin Bombardment. That's interesting. Pass the turn. Now, if my opponent attacks with Knighted Mirror, I think I am going to chump. Oh, I have to discard. Goblin Bombardment. Okay, opponent plays Arcbound Shikari. Okay, so we will be doing some chumping. Chump here. Trade here. Take some damage. We untap. draw planes. So play a planes, piercing rays, exile the... Oh, hang on. I might have to play Slasher as a 5/5. The problem is, if I do, my opponent can just sack Mere Scrappling and give this double strike. We're getting hit for 7 if I play Piercing Rays and Lightning Spear this turn, but I think that's what I gotta do. If my opponent has like some extra direct damage, we're probably just screwed. Pass the turn. If I draw a land, I can Foundry Helix and Lightning Spear next turn. I'm hoping to draw a cheap creature, though. Opponent has a Thraben Watcher. That is... It's pretty bad. That's 10 damage. Okay. We draw an Arcbound Prototype. So... Play the Prototype. I did that wrong! Oh, I just screwed myself. I needed to tap for white off of Power Depot. Yup. I can flashback Lightning Spear killing this, then we just die. I don't actually think that necessarily let me live either. Foundry Helix killing this and then putting a counter on Prototype. It didn't even really let me block effectively. It was going to be close, but I think we were still probably not favored. We do have to get lucky with mana again, so run it back. Alright, we'll play first. We have white mana, we have a playable... We have 2 playables, actually. Okay, we're going to keep. It's a little risky. We are going to need to draw red mana. If we do, this hand gets way better. Okay, opponent also starts tap land. We draw Tracker. Play Fairgrounds Patrol. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains into a Mouser, into a Mouser. We untap and draw Zabaz. Play Zabaz. I don't think we can attack, actually. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mishra's Factory into a Monoskellion, which they can use to kill Zabaz. No blocks. We untap. Draw Foundry Helix. So we gotta fight. Problem is our opponent can just ping Zabaz. Go to combat. Attack for 2. Opponent's going to ping Zabaz. Now we have nothing to modular onto, so we're going to lose our whole board here. We're not going to modular onto our opponent's creature. Opponent may chump. Okay, they did not. If that's the case, do I have to stop the bleeding by fighting here? I think I do. We didn't fight the Mousers because they're most likely to get out of control here. Okay, opponent plays a Barbed Spike. We need to draw a mountain off the top here. If we can get a mountain and we can play Rokiric, and then Tracker, and then Helix something, and we're not like dead by that point, then maybe we can get somewhere. Captured by Legox after the mountain would also be great. Okay, we get hit for 2, opponent gains 2, we draw a card we can't play. Alright, token from Fairgrounds Patrol, pass the turn. So if our opponent attacks with that Thopter, we gotta trade. They play a Prototype, they play Sojourner's Companion. Okay, block here, untap. Oh! Pass the turn, and I think it's going to be too late now because we're taking 7. So we'd have to like chain Foundry Helixes together with artifacts to sack the whole way. So we take... Oh, we're taking 8, excuse me. Yep, there's the mountain. But a turn too late. We can do this to stay alive. Actually, does that? No, because they can just animate Mishra's Factory and we die. Unfortunate. Let's turn 7. We only drew 1 land, and it was on turn 7. But we know that this deck's weakest point is its mana base, so... I hate to say it, but that was kind of expected. So, maybe I should have mulliganed, but we'll see. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 3. Alright, round 3, we're on the draw. We've got 2 mana. Technically no playables until we draw a 3rd land. But if we do draw a 3rd land, it's amazing. I'm going to try keeping this, because mountains, once again, should be easier for us to draw. Hopefully we draw one before turn 1 million. So 3rd land is great because that does let us play Marble Gargoyle. Okay, opponent is playing an Ignoble Hierarch. We draw Forest. Play Tanglepool Bridge because we have nothing to play on 2. Opponent plays a Forest into a Jewel-Eyed Cobra. They're going to hit us for 1, that's fine. We untap. We draw Arcbound Tracker. So play Marble Gargoyle. Pass the turn. Okay, still hoping for red mana. Opponent plays an Island. 4 mana, they got Foundation Breakers in the main deck, that's good. Okay, they kill our Gargoyle. They're going to hit us for 4. We untap. We draw Plains. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp. Goes to combat. They're going to hit us for 5. Okay, time's running out. Draw Power Depot. It helps a little bit, but unless I top deck a mountain, I don't think we can actually do anything. So opponent goes to combat, hits us for 5. We go to 5. Untap. There's a mountain. Okay. So play a mountain. Play Rokiric. Then cast Shikari. It's going to be one heck of a comeback if we can do it. Okay, the golem gets bigger. We've got a first striker, and we have Rokiric. Next turn, we can Foundry Helix, which will get us another golem and gain us life. Opponent Sudden Edicts us. We might sack the golem here. No, let's sack the Shikari. They can attack us for 4. We would die to a burn spell or a pump spell. But I think that's a risk we just have to take, because we can't give up Rokiric here. Take 4, go to 1. Okay, we untap, we draw another Foundry Helix. So play a forest, play tracker, careful to tap correctly. Then we Foundry Helix, killing Jewel-Eyed Cobra. Sacking Power Depot. Triggers all around. Counter on the tracker. Another golem. Counter on the tracker for its ability. Gain life. They make a treasure. Go to combat. Attack them for 7. Next turn we'll have another Foundry Helix, and we can sack a land we don't need, like this Thornglint Bridge. But this is the power of Rokiric. He's an endless stream of powerful creatures. Opponent is going to late to dinner their Cobra. They get a food. Then they pass. We untap. We draw Captured by Legox, which is actually excellent. So Foundry Helix, kill Jewel-Eyed Cobra, sack Thornglint Bridge, make a golem. Gain life. Opponent makes a treasure. Captured by Legox, the Foundation Breaker. Counter on tracker. Get another golem. Support, putting a counter on Rokiric and the golem that can attack this turn. Go to combat. Attack with everyone who can. Opponent jumps. They gain life. They go to 2. They gotta have something pretty good at this point. Hopefully they don't have a board wipe. Alright. That was a close one. I feel like we're not playing enough red sources. But I really, I can't cut any more white sources, and I don't want to cut any lands, so I think we're just going to have to keep a hand that has red in it. Otherwise I have to cut, like, Goblin Bombardment for a mountain or something like that. Alright, well, we got spells we can cast, so we're going to keep... Opponent starts Swamp. We draw Smelfear, play Razortide Bridge, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains, plays an Ornithopter. We untap, we draw Plains, play a Mountain, play the Arcbound Prototype, pass the turn. Okay, opponent casts Abundant Harvest for land. They reveal Garth, One Eye, and Soul of Migration to get a Mistvault Bridge. We untap, draw Plains, play a Plains, play Marble Gargoyle, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they play a Mountain, they have all 5 colors of magic, play a Jewel-Eyed Cobra. We untap and draw Fairgrounds Patrol, so play a Plains, go to combat, attack for 2 in the air. Okay, no blocks by the opponent. So play Fairgrounds Patrol, play Lightning Spear, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I think if they attack with the Cobra, we don't block, because we risk fixing their mana for them. We can take 3 damage. We haven't taken any damage yet. Okay, opponent plays another Jewel-Eyed Cobra. We untap. Draw Forest, which is amazing here. So, play Captured by Legox. We'll say that Lotus Cobra can't block. Counters on our guys. Equip the Marble Gargoyle. Go to combat. Attack for 7. Opponent goes to 11. Opponent has Cauldra complete. Alright, that's pretty bad. So they're going to hit us for 8 here. And it has trample. I mean, unless they keep it back on defense. So they attack us for 5. We take 5. Go to 12. We untap. We draw Power Depot. So play Power Depot. Smell Fear. We'll have the Marble Gargoyle fight the Ornithopter. Proliferate all of our stuff. Okay, let me math here. If I move the equip here, I trample over for how much damage? That would be 4 damage, and I would hit them for 4 in the air. They would go to 3, and then they would die to Lightning Spear when I untap. Okay, equip here. Go to combat. Attack for 9. Opponent blocks. Trample over. They go to 3. So they have to either kill us or answer Lightning Spear. Or they have to either kill us or answer Lightning Spear and Marble Gargoyle. If it becomes relevant, we can block 1 damage. So if my opponent has a double strike spell, I guess. I'm not sure. Are there any double strike spells in Modern Horizons 2? There might be. I know there's like Flourishing Strike. That might cause a problem. Alright, opponent doesn't have it. Leaving our overall record as 2-1. We definitely could have won the match that we lost. Unfortunately, our mana was just terrible. If we'd gotten that red-green artifact duel, that was basically the card this deck was missing. So, Rokiric, amazing card advantage engine, just giving you a whole bunch of tokens. He's difficult to remove. He's aggressively costed. It's definitely better in a straight red-white deck. But unfortunately, we were kind of like, we were getting cut, and we still ended up making a good deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And remember, you can follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesday afternoon to evening time. Trying to work in another stream, but I want you to know that you're all wonderful human beings, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of August. You guys are wonderful, and I really appreciate your support. It's been helping me make a lot of good content. If you want your name to show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below if you want to support this channel. Thank you so much.